Hi, I'm Laura from Joy Food Sunshine, and I have been looking forward to the release of this product for a very long time, the Vitamix Food Processor. So when my friends at Vitamix told me that they were going to be releasing a food processor attachment this year, I was so excited and I couldn't wait. Felt like Christmas morning when this thing arrived in the mail. I was so stoked to get it and try it out. So I'm going to be showing you how this thing works. I'm going to show you all the different parts and pieces, how to store it, and then I'm going to talk about the things I love about it and the things that I think could use some improvements. So let's get started. So first things first, this new Vitamix Food Processor attachment is made to go with all the smart system blenders built with self-detect technology. That means if you have a classic system blender, you won't be able to take advantage of this unless you want to upgrade to one of the Ascent or Smart Vitamix models. The first thing I noticed and was pleasantly surprised with when I pulled it out of the box was its size. I usually use a 14-cup food processor in my kitchen, and so when I saw that this thing had a 12-cup capacity, I was thrilled. Okay, so let's just start by looking at the attachment as it is. Something about this food processor, it fits perfectly, really easy, right on the base, so really easy to attach. One of the great features about this food processor attachment is that there's a quick release button that allows you to remove the container without removing the base. So if you're shredding a bunch of cheese, you need to dump out the first batch and start a second one, you can just take it out, dump it out, and then plop it right back in. And of course that makes it way easier to clean because you don't have to worry about also cleaning the base, you just have to clean the container. One of the things I love about this Vitamix food processor that might seem like a silly point, it's very intuitive how the pieces are supposed to fit together. So the lid, this is the one feature of this food processor that I think could use a little work. The lid is not just easy to get on and off. I've been using this for about a month now, and it's still about the same. I wonder after more uses if it'll be easier, but you kind of gotta muscle it on and muscle it off. So that's just something to note about this. Another piece of this food processor are the two different food pushers and chutes. You have the small food chute and food pusher, and then you have a larger one, so you could put larger items in here and then push them down with the larger food pusher. So that's typical in a food processor, but it's great that it's still here. The Vitamix Food Processor comes with 3 different blades. So it comes with your normal standard S blade, okay, that fits in this way, all right? Then, here, let me put this down. One of the cool things that I love about this is that each blade actually serves 2 different functions. That's awesome because again, with your standard food processors, they come with, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 different blades, and then you have to figure out a way to store them. So I love that Vitamix made this really nice and compact and used the least number of discs as possible, but you still get the same functionality. So the first disc, thin slice, small shred. Then you have a thick slice, large shred. If you own a traditional food processor, then you know that you often need a separate bin to store all the accessories that go with it. Well, Vitamix totally hit the nail on the head with their system because it all fits nice and compact together to store in one piece. So I'm going to show you how that works, all right? You remove the lid, okay? And in order to store it, you want to make sure the multi-use blade is attached to the gear stem in the container, okay? It comes with a disc case, so you take the other discs, or you take the discs, and you put them in the disc case, and then you close the lid, okay? Then you flip it over, and the container lid snaps right in, okay, to here, like so. You put the center of the small food pusher right over the multi-use blade, and it stores like that. And if that seemed like, whoa, how am I going to remember that? The disc container comes with an instruction card. So hang on to this. It shows you exactly how all of the pieces are supposed to fit together. Great. All right, so you probably know you can't use a regular Vitamix blender as a food processor. And the reason why is speed. The speed of a blender is meant to totally obliterate and pulverize whatever you put in the container. But that's not what you want to do with a food processor. You want to be able to slice, chop, shred, make pastry crusts, do all those different kinds of things that you just really can't do with a regular blender. So Vitamix designed the gears inside this base to spin 7 times slower than your regular Vitamix blending container without losing any power. Also, Vitamix designed this food processor to only spin at a single speed, which is unique from the blending containers, which can vary from low to high speed. So, turn it on. Even if you turn the knob up to 10, it does not change the speed. Another important feature of the Smart System blender is self-detect. If the food processor attachment is on the blender and it somehow gets released, the machine and the blades will stop immediately because of the self-detect technology. And then when you put it back on, you'll have to turn it back on yourself. So now I'm going to show you how it works. We're going to start with number 2, which is called thin slice. So I'm going to grab another zucchini over here and do the thick slice just to compare the slices. Now we're going to switch gears and do shredding. So we're going to do number 3, which is the small shred. Okay, so now let's try large shred. This is thick slice, disc 4. This is thin slice, disc 2. This right here is small shred, disc 3. And large shred, disc 5. Okay, I know what you're all thinking, but how much does this thing cost? Well, the price of this Vitamix food processor attachment is $199.95 US dollars, $199.95, which I personally was very pleasantly surprised with the price. A good food processor will run you just about that price, and you have to have a whole separate base and storage and everything for it. So for that to be the price of a Vitamix attachment that does so many unique functions apart from just the regular blending container, I think it's totally worth it. I am ready to get rid of my old one because this food processor has replaced it 100%. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons. For me, number 1, it works like an amazing, high quality, well-built food processor. So that's awesome. Number 2, storage. I appreciate how easy it is to store and clean this unit. It's great. Way more compact than any other food processor I've ever owned. And number 3, I get to use my Vitamix base. All the power and quality that Vitamix is known for, and all I need is an extra attachment. Okay, cons. Number 1, the lid. Seriously, I struggle to get this thing on and off every time. It's just a little bit too tight, and it could loosen over time, but for now, that's a con for me. Number 2, the Smart Detect acts up sometimes. If you are using the machine and it can't really sense the big food pusher or that the lid is on, it won't let you turn the machine on. So that's another thing, functionality-wise, that just is a little bit annoying sometimes if you're in the middle of shredding and the machine won't turn on. One of my favorite things to use a food processor for is to make pie and pastry crusts. So I went ahead and I made an awesome apple galette recipe that uses the multi-use blade to make a galette crust, as well as the thin slice disc to easily slice your apples to put inside the galette. So I will link to that recipe in the description, and you will love it, and it's the perfect way to break in your Vitamix food processor attachment. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this review has been genuinely helpful for you in making a decision. And if you're looking for recipes to make in your food processor or your Vitamix blender, check us out at joyfoodsunshine.com.